Hello everyone, this is Amit Mishra here. Today I'm going to talk about some patterns which we found useful while building our API platform. Let's go over motivation behind this talk. Basically, here at Fox, my team and me are responsible for building a platform or taking care of the platform which helps to serve live and VOD contents to millions of concurrent users. And as you guys know, like serving live content has its own challenges because of the unpredictable nature of the traffic and overall audience itself. And our platform basically helps to serve events like Super Bowl, WWE, pay-per-view fights, and various Fox Entertainment related shows. In order to basically handle various challenges, we planned to rebuild our whole platform using Golang. And the reason behind was it was like because our legacy Node.js based platform was very tightly coupled application, and it was very hard to scale, and it had very high dependency on its external services without any fail forward strategy or caching kind of strategy. But due to simplicity of the Golang and power of concurrency, we are in process of migrating our whole platform into Golang, and we are already seeing some good results. um, and based on those good results, we discovered a couple of patterns which are very easy to implement in Golang, and I wanted to share with you all. Um, Agenda. Well, let's talk. Let's dive into first pattern. The first pattern is like thinking about a true microservices. Since we had this whole monolithic system, we had 20 to 30 internal, Node.js modules. We wanted to come up with a strategy where we can divide these services into true microservices, and we basically came up with a strategy of dividing those into using three different criteria. The first one is like, okay, what are your dependency on the external services? Second one, like, okay, even if we had the legacy services and we could not migrate those into Golang, how do we deal with those? So we probably build a Golang based proxy on around those kind of services. So that was our second criteria. The third and the very common criteria which we use normally is like, building the services based on dedicated data stores like Elasticsearch or DynamoDB, or anything else which is suitable for your project. The second pattern was like a strategy to migrate the legacy services itself. Like since we decided to build all these services into Golang, but we cannot just go. We could not just migrate those in one shot. We could not afford any kind of downtime. So we had to come up with some kind of a strategy where we can still build these services and go live with these services without any downtime. And this is how we started. We had this start state where we had a legacy kind of playback services which was serving to the clients. The first thing we started doing is like start building the proxy services around those legacy services, and these proxy services were based on the Golang. And you will be surprised to hear that just by putting the Golang proxy gave us so much performance boost without doing any optimization. These proxies were just taking the same request and response. It was just passing to the client, but that itself gave us good flexibility. And the second step we followed was like, okay, once we had the proxy, we started swapping out our legacy playback services using new Golang based playback services, and we started doing some comparative testing. And once we had some good confidence on the comparative testing, we basically implemented a feature flag, and which we can turn on, turn off based on what we needed. And then once we had that whole thing implemented, we could just rely on new playback services which was based on the Golang. That was very pretty much a useful pattern we've found ourselves using in all over the stack. So hopefully it will be useful for you guys too. The third pattern and the most important pattern was the circuit breaker pattern. Basically, circuit breaker pattern and microservice word, you might know that it's very common pattern which basically allows to build you fault tolerant and resilience kind of services which can survive graceful degradation. The purpose of the circuit breaker pattern is basically is to detect the availability of the underlying services which caller services are depending on, or any kind of service failure. And we in order to implement these services, we basically use Golang, because implementing this kind of pattern was very simple in Golang. And one of the thing we used was like the Hystrix Golang library, which is of course based on the Netflix Hystrix. But this is how our configuration looked like. which had various control over, like, a maximum concurrency, timeout, and all those kind of things. And based on the circuit breaker pattern, we could implement our monitoring dashboard, which was which gave us like a clear view about, okay, what's going on with our external services, which previously we were not able to control, but now we are able to understand that if those are responding slow or what's going on. And based on that, we could open and close the circuit, and serve the fall of, fail forward kind of scenarios, or forward kind of responses. The fourth pattern was like the strategic caching. Since I explained that during the live environment, caching contents is very hard. And for that, we had to come up with a good strategic, good caching system. And we built our whole caching system using Golang. And it's one of the most performing platform in our whole system. And the Golang provided us the flexibility to build the features like leaky bucket cache, where the kind of like keep or cache warm, and the similarly stale cache. The fifth pattern was the single flight pattern. In single flight pattern, you will find this is the most useful pattern when you're trying to deal with the thundering heart kind of problem. It basically helps you to suppress all the duplicate function calls, and we use this Golang single flight. And here are the results we could achieve. We have infinitely a scalable platform, and this is how it looked like previously. Our Node.js response was like way more than what we have in Golang. And similarly, we could save lots of cost, and we are able to serve our current NFL event which is going on, and hopefully we are going to planning for the 2023 Super Bowl. This is our roadmap looks like for the Super Bowl. Like, we are planning to serve at least 20 millions of concurrent users, and then moving everything into Golang, and then